Our members decided to start embarking on strike in the TVET and CET sectors because of a number of issues we are raising as a union. Amongst others is the improvement of salaries and improvement of conditions of employment. These workers are worse off because no one takes care of them. For instance, they don't benefit from, they don't have a salary structure that yields benefits such as pay progression and bonuses for them, whereas their peers in the basic education sector are entitled to such benefits. So that's one of the issues we are raising as a union. We want the department to meet all our demands, develop a new salary structure for this sector, and make sure that they standardize policies. Your recruitment and selection in one college is the same as the recruitment and selection policy in another, so that we don't behave as if we are in a banana republic where there are no rules, where there are no laws. We want to introduce that, and we want to use this action to have that introduced. So there's a bargaining council which we belong to. We introduced all these issues, raised our demands as a union in the bargaining council. As you'd have heard, there are settlement agreements dating back to 2015, but it's difficult for the department to implement those settlement agreements. So the decision to embark on strike came as no surprise because we've tried all the best to put. This is but a last resort for us because we are dealing with a very arrogant and intransigent employer. This is an attempt to put pressure on the employer. If they can't respond positively to this, we'll obviously have to intensify our action by bringing all Nehawu members also in other sectors to be part of this action.
Well, joining us now is Lunga Ngqengelele, who's the Higher Education and Training Media Liaison Officer on Nehawu members at Dowing Tools at TVET colleges. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program. What's the department's response to today's action?
Good afternoon, Peter, and to the viewers. Our view as the department, of course, is to request and appeal to Nehawu to reconsider its decision to embark on this strike and rather go back to the bargaining council, wherein we think all these issues they are raising can still be resolved. So we are really appealing to them to reconsider for the sake of our TVET and college education and training students.
I'm not sure if you heard the clip just before we started talking to you, but they were saying that this is actually an action of last resort and that they've tried, they've made representations, they've gone to the bargaining council, but seemingly the department is unable to take action.
I can confirm with you, Peter, that the Minister has already written to Nehawu asking to meet them tomorrow. We are awaiting their response so that we can again sit around these issues, because the issue of disruption of our TVET colleges and community education and training is a matter of serious concern to the Minister and the department. So this is why we are trying to do whatever we are able to do to make sure that this doesn't go on.
So again, quoting the representative there from Nehawu, they said that they went to the bargaining council and a settlement agreement was put on the table as far back as 2015. We're now 4 years later. I suppose an outsider looking in might say we understand the frustration.
From where we're standing as the department, it's true that these matters were in front of the bargaining council. And we think there was sort of an agreement with Nehawu in terms of how to solve them. Most of the issues, if you look at them, it's not matters that can be resolved tomorrow. They will require some time as they require funding and so on. So this is why we are saying that through negotiations and agreement in terms of sorting all of the issues they are raising, and then through bargaining council, we can still find each other. Let us not disrupt the education of the kids. So that is where we are.
All right. So you say some of these issues can take time, but some might not take as long. What are you able to deal with straight away?
Look, on issues of conditions, as they are saying, those are the matters that I'm sure can be resolved immediately. Through all the issues that they are raising together again and look at those that can be dealt with immediately. And then those that will take time, we can agree in terms of time frames and so on, so that the education of students can continue in our institutions of higher learning and training.
All right. So it is very disruptive, as you've said. Do you have any idea how many TVET colleges and CET colleges have been affected by this strike action?
We know from the reports that we are getting that not many. And we want to thank the lecturers who prioritize the education. We have, for instance, the supplementary examination starting as of tomorrow, and we have quarterly examination, quarterly test also coming up. And we are thankful to the teachers again for prioritizing the education. And so it's the first day. We have put a number of measures, of course, because we've known about the strike, including where necessary to combine classes and so on. So we are hopeful that we will be able to meet with Nehawu as soon as possible and be able to resolve these matters so that we can continue with the education that is desperately needed by TVET and the community education and training students.
All right, okay. So urgently, you'd like teachers to go back to the colleges and the training institutions. How quickly do you think you can find middle ground?
As I've already said, Peter, because of seriousness of this matter, the minister has written to Nehawu asking them to meet as early as tomorrow. If today they can come back to us and say that they are ready to meet, we would have that meeting tomorrow and see how then we go forward with this matter. So we are just awaiting to hear from them, and I think also they understand the importance of education of our kids and will be willing to meet with the minister to look at all of the issues so that we can move on with this education.
All right, so that's where we're going to have to leave it. Thank you very, very much indeed for coming on to the program and giving us your point of view from the Department for Higher Education and Training. Thank you so much.